Kitty kitties, what up, what up? Welcome to Primal Scream. This is your host, Nick Graystone. For the next hour, we're going to talk about fantasy, reality, and everything in between. Let's go. Hey, kitty kitty.
What up? I'm back. Guess who's back for round 2? It's Primal Scream with Nick Graystone. I am Nick Graystone, a.k.a. the Nizza. Hopefully, I have some return viewers, and hopefully I have some new ones. Because, you know, this is just starting from the bottom, working my way up. So, I hope everyone's having a good night. I have so much to talk about. There is so much going on right now. It's unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know. First of all, I just have to say that I am totally jealous of Keegs and Hershey for getting the sick lemonade I was watching before. I was like, that's amazing. Hopefully the lemonade guy's not too far away. But, hey, you never know. Maybe next time he'll roll in, because I would love a nice lemonade. That was beautiful. I guess I am doing some shout-outs. So, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you last week for my True Crime Obsession podcast. I was on there with Christine. She does her podcast through here. It was a very cool experience. Yeah, I had a great time doing that. We talked about the cases and stuff, and we talked about how we got into true crime. So that was always fun. That's always a subject that I love to talk about. Another podcast that I was featured on, I actually shot back in May that came out yesterday. It's called Knocking Doors Down. Now, this was a hard listen back for me to listen to this one, because I opened up about something that I'm not too vocal about. It's about my past with addiction. And I tell my story on there. And like I said, it gets pretty deep. But definitely give that podcast a listen to. Also want to give a shout out to my good friend Savannah. She is celebrating her 3-year sobriety actually today. And she's the one that put me onto that podcast. So Savannah, good job. Just wanted to give you a shout out and say job well done. So originally I had an opening for this show. But as you know, in a New York Minute, that can all change. And speaking of New York, I'm talking about hometown New York right now. Holy shit. Crazy shit happened today in not even a half a mile from my house. It is a crazy video I'm about to show. I'll let the video just speak for itself, and we'll talk about it after you watch this. So take a look at this.
Gone, yo.
And it's got some urban commentary too, so it's cool. Whoa.
Yo, that's crazy.
Very crazy.
That's crazy.
Loco. Unbelievable. So,
Gone, yo.
all that happened today right near the Carvel and the famous My Hero by my house. My Hero is famous for the Champ, but I say that the real champ right now is the NYPD for stopping something that could have turned 100% worse. The video, I really don't know too much about, like the woman that got apprehended in that video. All I know is what you saw. She was holding a gun. She pointed it at some people. Then she pointed it at herself. And one of the cops came and clipped her leg and disabled her enough for them to take her into custody. It's like a real life, like Grand Theft Auto game. Like I've never seen anything like that, except on like maybe an episode of Cops or something. But so close to my house. So I guess, you know, in hindsight, Belmore was just a little bit jealous of Massapequa Park, because I guess they just wanted to up the game.
Well, you got a comment on YouTube from Demon Scar.
Okay.
Describe what the video is showing for the listeners. So
So what happened is a woman, she's holding a gun and she's pointing it, and then all of a sudden she points it at herself. Why she's doing this, I still have no idea. I've been trying to look to see updates. Obviously, she's in some sort of distress. She points it at herself, and then all of a sudden, a cop car comes out of nowhere and clips her leg, and she falls. And another cop comes running in, and they apprehend her. So I'm thinking that she had some kind of, manic episode, and hopefully she's just getting the right treatment right now. Most likely, she's going to probably get a lawyer, too, because it's in plain sight that the cop did hit her. But you never know. I mean, this day and age, everyone sues. So, we'll see what happens. But hopefully that young woman is getting the proper care that she needs. I'm a big advocate for, mental health awareness, and hopefully she is, we're fully aware of what's going on. So, I mean, we definitely see the mental state of her. Hopefully she's getting every medical attention that she needs. And I know that one of the police officers was taken to the hospital, too. I'm not sure which one. Maybe the one that was driving the car. Maybe the one, I don't know. Who knows? Like I said, that's only a clip of the video. I didn't see the rest of it. So, but yeah, like I said, it's a real live Grand Theft Auto video game scenario. So, another interesting thing, when I was on my way here, I was having a little dinner and I had a fortune cookie and I cracked it open and there was no fortune in it. So I'm thinking, like, this is some Last Dragon shit. Like, do I have the glow now? So I had to do some Googling and see what it was all about. And what it says is something good's going to happen very soon. And you are being invited to script your life as you like it, which I like. And I love writing my own script because no one gets to tell your story or write your own story but you. And I love being in control of that. You should be able to. You should be able to see what you're worth, put it out there, and that's the whole reason why I'm doing this whole podcast thing, just to see if the way I put a spin on things, if people are entertained, dog and pony show, whatever it is. So, a little review of the weekend. I went to a party with my brother and some old school friends. Yeah, there's a picture of my brother and his friend Matto from back in the day in Belmore, and there's another picture that I have. That's the host over there. It's Mikey A, and there's Mark Paris putting up the guns. Great guys. They've always been close friends of the Graystone family, and it was cool catching up and talking and everything. And I'm just thank you, Mike and Tracy, for inviting me to your home and putting out a nice spread. So yeah, it was a good time. Sunday, I was looking forward to doing absolutely nothing, but as you know, in the life of me, absolutely nothing means getting invited to an impromptu screening at Smodcastle in Highlands, Jersey, and I saw Shooting Clerks. I'm wearing the hat right now, proudly wearing the hat because I really enjoyed it. Now, Shooting Clerks is directed by Christopher Downey. It tells the story of, it's like a biopic about Kevin Smith, the tale of how he made Clerks. He wanted to make a movie after he saw Slacker, Richard Linklater's Slacker, and he went to Vancouver Film School, and that's where he met Scott Mosier and Dave Klein. He ended up dropping out, and he came back home, and this guy made a movie. And Kevin Smith hosted a cool Q&A. When the Q&A started, I wanted to go and pick up some stuff in the lobby because I saw that they had some shirts and hats and stuff. And when I went into the lobby, it was like I was walking into the Quick Stop. As you'll see from the pictures, there are some alumni that are in the crowd that were there. And there he is, Scott Schiaffo. That's the Chuli's Gum rep. There's Ernie O'Donnell. He owns part of Smodcastle with Kevin. He plays Rick Derris. There is the lady that gets thrown out of RST Video for saying that she doesn't like... she's asking him what movie she'd like to rent, and Randall's not paying attention. And then he says, I don't like your ruse. And then they go back and forth, and He ends up taking away her card. The dude next to her is the customer. His name is Joe Bagnoli. He's the cat shit watching customer. So he's watching the cat take a shit on the counter, and then which is one of my favorite parts because I think they nailed that in one take, which is awesome. And the secret behind it was the owner of the cat, and I believe it's one of Kevin's friends. The name escapes me. I think it's Vinny Pereira. He owned the cat, and he said that he just kept it away from the litter box for the whole day, and once they put him in, he went on command and shit for us, and it was a gem of a scene. So I don't know if I have any other pictures up from there. There's the man himself, Kevin Smith, who by now probably has a restraining order against me because I've been to his establishment over the course of the last couple of months many times. I had the screening of The Forest Hills there. I saw a couple of screenings of his movies there. I'm a fan. I went for New Year's Eve. It's, Kevin Smith is, I just love his whole story and everything. And this movie, it's a perfect, it's like a puzzle. And they're piecing it together of things that I know. And there's a lot of cameos. And if you're a fan of the View Askew universe, I would strongly suggest that you do check it out. So Shooting Clerks, directed by Christopher Downey, should be out pretty soon. Yeah, that's Chris Downey, and there's a whole cast up on the stage right now. If I think it's doing a festival run right now and some screenings, but you can check it out. That will be available soon for on demand and DVD purchases, I'm sure. All right, so moving right along. Tonight I wanted to do a little bit something different. I wanted to talk about remakes that are just as good, if not better, than the original. So I picked 5 movies, not just horror, from different, different genres. And I feel like if I would have just went horror, then I would have been, a one-trick pony. But, I want to show you that I am a film connoisseur, that I do love all different types of film. So the first movie I'd like to talk to you about is A Star Is Born. So I know some of my friends that love the original will probably hate me for saying this, but I feel that The Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga surpasses the other two, starring Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson, and there's also a Judy Garland one from back in the day. The tale of this is so heart-wrenching. The musical performances in the movie are great. Bradley Cooper actually got taught by Lucas Nelson, that's Willie Nelson's son, and he went out on tour with him. So I'm sure Lucas showed Bradley just about everything you got to do when you're on tour. He learned how to play guitar. He learned how to sing. And I feel like Lady Gaga was truly born for this role. The only negative thing about it is the solo songs from Gaga in it, I'm not too crazy about. It's the duets that she does with Bradley Cooper and just like that whole relationship building. The movie does take a dark turn towards the end, just like the two before it. And it's one of those movies, it's not a feel-good ending. It's sad, but the movie's great. And I feel that A Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga takes the cake. So moving right along, I'm going to talk about The Hills Have Eyes 2006. Get back into my wheelhouse. This was directed by Alexandre Aja. Obviously, the original by Wes Craven is a cult classic. It's grainy, it's brutal, but Aja just takes it to that next level. I just feel like Wes Craven's story is a good story, but the way that Alex presents it is much more watchable, and the scenes are even more brutal. And it's not like I'm dissing Michael Berryman, because I love Michael Berryman. I wish I had a picture to show you guys. He plays Jupiter in the original one. He's the bald, weird looking dude. He's in Smoking in the Boys Room at Motley Crue, and he was also in Weird Science. Very cool, nice dude I met in person, and I'm not trying to diss your movie, brother, but Alexandra Aja does make 2006 The Hills Have Eyes a little bit better than the 1977 classic. Moving right along, I'm going to talk about The Thing, 1982. Now this, when it first came out, it was a bomb. No one liked it, and it just got legs after that. And now I feel it's like one of the best science fiction movies ever to be made. The CGI that is not in it is not needed because they go with practical effects. And the practical effects in it now still stand up to any CGI that you put out there. That's what it's all about. Chicken wire and, chocolate syrup just to make that thing to look good. Like, instead of like resorting in computers and making it all like AI and stuff. Even though that the original Thing is highly regarded as one of the best 50 science fiction movies, this movie I feel surpasses it. Like, it has a great cast. Kurt Russell, is memorable as his role as MacReady. It has an amazing score by Ennio Morricone. He has done a lot of spaghetti westerns, and it took him years to actually get recognized by the Oscars. They actually gave him an Oscar only a couple of years ago, and you're talking about a guy that's been around since the 50s and 60s doing this stuff. And he drives the movie. It's like on the edge of your seat the whole time. The best part about it too is the open ending. You don't know who exactly first got the monster transformed into them. There are theories online that Childs is actually the one that has it, and he offers him gasoline at the end of the movie to drink instead of whiskey, and that proves that he was the alien. But that's just that's a theory. I love the open ending, and just you don't know what you just watched, and you don't know the outcome. So that movie sticks with me for a long time. I do love it. The next one is Dawn of the Dead, 2004. Man, I mean, you're going against the godfather of the zombies, George Romero, but both highly regarded. The zombies are relentless in the new one versus the old, the OG, zombies that stalk, that are slow. It's the same concept. The strangers are held up in a mall. They're trying to wait out the zombie apocalypse. I feel like there's less social commentary in the newer one, which is amazing because I feel like as time progresses, a lot of people put their social agendas in film just to get their point of view across and stuff. So I guess George Romero had more to say back in the 70s than in 2004. There's brutal special effects in both. Tom Savini, one of the greatest in special effects back in the day. I gotta give a nod to the 2004. The brutal zombie birth scene is just, I can't say it's unwatchable for me. I'll watch it every time, but maybe not to the average, Joe. But in the end, I'm gonna have to go with the OG, the Godfather of the Zombies, the 1978 original. Even though the 2004 one is really good, my heart lies with George. He's one of the greatest ever, and I miss him. I wish he was still around. So to round this one out, I'm going to go with, it could be considered, it is considered one of the greatest gangster movies of all time, and I'm talking about Scarface. The 1932 original was about the rise and fall of Italian immigrant Antonio Tony Caramonte, but this one is the rise and fall of a Cuban immigrant Antonio Tony Montana. Al Pacino just swings it out of the park with this one. It's Brian De Palma made a masterpiece. The characters in it are it's very quotable. You have a strong support cast. You know, Robert Loggia, Master Antonio, Stephen Bauer, Michelle Pfeiffer. I do have to give also a shout out to Mark Margolis. He passed away last week. He played Shadow in the movie. He doesn't really have many lines, but Tony Montana actually shoots him at point blank range because they're following. It's the scene where they're following the politician out of the UN. Shout out to my pops because he did work at the UN. But I have to say that the scene where he kills him and he says, "I don't want no kids killed, you piece of shit," and he shoots him in the face, point blank range. It's just that he was a great character actor. Unfortunately, he passed away last week. He played in Breaking Bad. He was Tio Salamanca. He's the guy with the bell. He was ringing. He was kind of not vocal in that one either. He also played the landlord in Ace Ventura. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but he's the one that rolls up behind Ace when he's trying to get into his apartment, and he's like, "Hey, Ventura, I hear him scratching in there. You got animals in there, Ventura." Like he plays all different types of roles. Like he showed up in like Aronofsky's Pie and Requiem for a Dream. So yeah, rest in peace, Mark Margolis. You were great as Shadow in this movie, and obviously I'm going to go with the Tony Montana Scarface for surpassing the original. So that being said, I am going to move on to playing one of my friends' bands right now. Is a Long Island outfit. As you can see, I stick with the home territory. It's my friends from from Playing Dead. This is the first single off of their new EP. It's called Passion Fuels, and I'm going to play it for you right now, and I hope you dig it. So here it is.
Come with me to waste all of your time on the things no one cares about, but they mean the world to you. Passion fuels the boat that floats around, and there's no need to carry me. I walk until they bury me. For now, for good. So long, goodbye.
Really? I never knew that. Really? They made it. I can't believe it.
Watch you tell everyone I think
right, that's my boys, man, and Playing Dead. Man, I love that song. They're doing it right, man. I love when I see my friends like really going for it and pushing themselves out and putting themselves out there and everything. That album is produced and recorded by Jamie Siegel at J-Rock Studios in Mission Sound, Brooklyn. The band consists of Sam Hoyos on vocals and guitars, Dave Casale on bass, Rich Ferraro on lead guitar, Jason Rutowski on keys and synth, Mike Cervino on drums, and Jessica Rutowski backing vocal. If you're local, August 19th, their next gig, they're playing the Doggone Music Festival at Uber Geek Brewery in Riverhead. They're playing with my friend Steven the Not Steves. So, check out Playing Dead. They are at Playing Dead New York on Instagram, Twitter, all over the place. They're very cool guys, too, very approachable. Me and Sam talk shop about movies all the time and our love for Ford Fairlane and Art Mooney. So, again, guys, job well done with that song. During when that song was playing, Tony asked me about another remake that maybe surpasses the original. Tony, you want to take this one?
I was just asking Nick. He's talking about all these great remakes. I asked him about the movie Airplane. Believe it or not, Airplane, the movie Airplane, the movie we all know well, with all the great actors in it, Lloyd Bridges, Robert Stack. That turns out that movie is a remake. Really? It's a remake of a movie called 0 Hour that came out in 1957, but it's a drama. Everybody thinks Airplane is a spoof of the movie Airport. It's not. It's a spoof of this movie called 0 Hour. In fact, if you go on IMDb, it's got a huge description of this movie, and you can see it. The characters have the same names, but if you scroll all the way to the end, it says at the end, note, this movie, the movie Airplane is a spoof of this movie to the point where some of the lines are verbatim. And that's exactly true. That it's.
I wonder if they talk about gladiator movies and stuff, and I'm sure they have to make it funnier back. Obviously,
absolutely. Well,
Airplane's one of the funniest movies of all time.
Oh, absolutely, it is. It's fantastic. But this movie, 0 Hour, is a drama. But it says here, the passengers and the pilots, they're getting sick from the food. It's the same. It's the same thing, but it's a drama. It's really interesting to watch. If you know Airplane well, it's really interesting to go back and see this one. It's
fucking Hollywood's not original, man. They're always remaking and rehashing and retelling and prequeling and fucking sequeling
that would be another conversation, maybe another time, where maybe take like a heavy. Like a well-known drama movie, and see how that would work as a comedy, like Airplane did.
Oh yeah,
maybe another time.
I've seen some funny shit that they put on the internet where they make like Who's the Boss, like the opening, if it was like a scary movie. Yeah, they put like weird music in and shit.
Didn't they just like a Godfather thing, like Who's the Boss? Didn't they do something like that?
I've seen that before too, but the one I'm talking about, it's like real spooky, and you just. Because the opening to Who's the Boss is really him driving a van on, all the areas and going through weird shit, and he's just driving slow. So it looks fucking creepy when you have, hilarious. Weird music. But, I just looked it up. Hall Bartlett was the director of that movie.
Oh, okay.
Of 0 Hour.
Oh, wow.
So now I have to check it out. But, if it's not funny, I don't know.
Right.
Wow, that's crazy. You never know, man. That's, you think that Airplane was an original comedy, but it was actually a drama that was turned into a comedy.
I got all sorts of useless info for you.
Good for the Zucker brothers.
Exactly.
So, I wanted to talk about a weird thing. I told some of my friends about this that happened to me a couple of weeks ago. So, I was in Asbury Park, and I went to go see a show. I'm walking back to the hotel, and I noticed this really, older, attractive, witchy woman-looking type woman standing in front of this, psychic place, card reading. So I was drawn to her for some reason. I'm like, man, should I go get my cards read? You never know. It could be in the cards right now, But I was a little hesitant, And then I kept on walking, and then I got a little further, and then I'm like, should I go back? And I even turned back, and then I'm like, you know what? You're drunk right now. Just go back to the hotel. Like, you're probably not in the right frame of mind for this. And I wasn't. So I made the right choice. Now, just to go back a little, ever since that viral meme came out with my picture with the hat on and everything. I actually have the hat when I do my investigations in a little bit. I'll put it on. But ever since that happened, my phone has been blowing up. I've been hearing from people that I haven't heard from in a long time. So the next morning I get up and there's a message. And it's from one of my friends from high school that I haven't talked to in a long time, who also is into true crime. And she mentioned to me, she's like, hey, I see that you're in Asbury Park. I don't know if you're into it, but maybe there's a woman that's on the boardwalk that does great card readings. Maybe you should look into it if you're into it. And I'm like, holy shit. And I'm like, how the hell did this girl know that I wanted to get my cards read? So I was like blown away, and I'm like, well, that's the sign. Maybe I should go get my cards read. So the next day or so, I'm talking to one of my best friends, Anthony DiDomenico, and he was telling me that his friend Lucia, light bulb, final flag. Lucia is the name of my grandmother. So he's like, his friend Lucia does readings. So I'm like, you know what? I have to go check out Lucia and get my my cards read. Shout out to her. She does card readings by Lulu B. So I went to go get my cards read, and it was unbelievable because I guess I was due to get them read because she told me some crazy stuff. So a couple of weeks before that, me and my brother finally convinced my mom to throw out this old couch that's been in our house. It's been in our house from the beginning. It was like 40 years old, probably older than me, so over 40. So we took the couch out, and there was stuff underneath it, and I found these bag of coins, and I'm like, what the fuck are these? They're like silver dollars or whatever. So I ended up putting them on, the table by my mom, and forgot about them. So I went to the card reading, and Lucia starts telling me about how my father is present, and she's saying that he asked if I got the coins he left me. So I'm like thinking about it. I'm like, coins? What are you talking about? My mother used to say sometimes when she'd find pennies and stuff, oh, it's a gift from Nan or something she left. But then I'm thinking, I'm like, holy shit, the coins, like the silver dollars that are underneath the couch. I'm like, whoa. Then she starts talking about that, he's hanging out with, she says is there another man that was in your life? His name is John. And I'm like, yeah, that's my godfather. So she's like, yeah, he's hanging out with him, and they're enjoying the nice greenery. So I'm like, greenery? What are they doing? Smoking weed? And like my father, if anyone knows who he was always straight-laced. He never would admit back in the day if he smoked weed or not. And she, even though that he went to Woodstock, there's pictures of him with long hair and everything, but he would just, I don't know, I guess he just wasn't that guy. He never told anything about himself. So I was like, what are they doing? Smoking weed? And she's like, did your dad have this big boisterous laugh? And I'm like, yeah, of course. That was his laugh. Like he'd laugh almost like a hyena. And she says, yeah, I hear that laugh. And like all of a sudden, like he's doing like the no, no, no sign, which is my father. He would always do that. No, no, no. I don't know about that. So it was just so weird. Like she was telling me all these other things too. Like how when he crossed over, his point of view changed, and like he had a different outlook on life with other stuff. And it was awesome to hear. And it stayed with me for a while. And then a couple of weeks go by, and Anthony tells me about this dream that he had with my dad and with Zoe in it, little Zozo. And he said that we were at the beach, which, first of all, my father hated the beach, and he was serving us empanadas. and my father and empanadas would never go together. So I guess he did change crossing over, because now he's serving empanadas on a beach to me, my best friend, and to my daughter. So I just thought that was such a weird dream, and it just, it's cool to know that his presence is still around, because I really don't need anyone to tell me that it is, because I do feel it. I feel his presence strongly around me all the time, and Lulu, she said to me, that he was very proud of me, and and he said that he was sorry. And when right before my dad passed away, he apologized for me taking care of him, because he didn't want me to see him the way that he was, and it was something that, like, I still think about, like, if he was a shitty father, I wouldn't have done it, but I wanted to be there for him, and he deserved it, and I guess he just wanted to get that out there again. And, if you're listening, Dad, it's okay. I was there for you, because you were there for me the whole time. So I want to move along before I start crying again. So can't be talking deep shit with that stuff, All right, so we're going to move along. I'm going to change my hat, because we are going to get into some shit right now. Now, let me get that hat on. All right, here we go. The Armchair Detective, onto the case. So now, the Rex Heuermann case, really, like I said last week, there's nothing going on right now that's too crazy. Today, they did take that swab of DNA that was court-ordered, which is standard. They have to get that. They want to mark it up against the DNA that they found on the pizza, and the 10 bodies or whatever. But they just have to make sure that they're dealing with the right person. They did also have a press conference the other day with his soon-to-be ex-wife. She's planning on suing Suffolk County for ripping her house apart, which, you know what, my heart goes out to that family. Their house is up, their life is upside down. But, if you do have a serial killer that's possible, you have to, you got to look at every nook and cranny to close this case. So hopefully this family, they can move on from this. It's going to be a long time before they could actually move on, I'm sure. But we'll see. And again, I will bring updates as I hear them. But like I said, it's going to take some time for them to go through all this stuff. DNA analysis usually takes weeks at a time. The other night, though, I came to a thing. Last week, I was attacking Rosie O'Donnell. This week, I'm attacking Nancy Grace. I just had about enough of her shit, man. I used to like Nancy Grace. I used to like listening to her. But now I feel like, I don't know, I feel like she's like conceited in a way. Like she'll come out and she'll start talking shit and like try to be better than everyone and like cut them off. And she's just like one of those people. You could say probably the most insane nonsense to her, and she'll be like, yeah. Oh, by the way, and then she'll just not even listen to what you're saying because she wants to get her point across. So I don't know, Nancy Grace, maybe you got to go to charm school and learn how to listen to people. And I just didn't like your whole approach on how you talked the other night on your show. So, but again, that's coming from the Armchair Detective. What the hell do I know about all this shit? I'm just a fan. So, now, moving right along, I've been sitting on this story for a while because I just didn't know when was the right time. About a week ago, I got a text from a friend about somebody. His name is Stephen Alowekix. That's his real name now. But his name that I knew him as is Stephen Alexi. So Stephen Alexi is a promoter. Those of you who know me know I went to this event. There he is. Handsome guy, right? All right, well, anyway, Stephen Alexi was the promoter of the event that I went to, An Evening with or experience with Sylvester Stallone, or whatever he called it at that point. Because he changed the name of his company a couple of times. He's even changed his name. Like I said, the name that came across the feed was spelled Oleksewycz. I knew him as Stephen Alexi, which was a lot shorter than that, and he's changed it a couple other times. He's also filed bankruptcy a couple of other times. I also brought some other pictures just to show the other events that this guy has done. He's done some like A-list celebrities. You know, he's done, I believe, like Mike Tyson. He's done Mel Gibson. And I think he's also done De Niro and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right. So the Arnold Schwarzenegger thing is actually interesting. Before the Stallone event, Stephen Alexi sold 60,000 tickets at the minimum of $350 to this event for Arnold Schwarzenegger. It was basically, you get to meet Arnold, and it was like a competition in the middle of it or whatever, and Arnold dealt with this guy once before because he's done shady shit, and he actually backed out like 3 days beforehand. Steven, at that point, was backed into a corner, didn't know what to do. So he's like, you know what? I'll get everyone on the next round. You guys come to another event I put together. And that's what he always would do. He would pay the talent to come, but everything else around, he wouldn't pay, and he wouldn't fulfill all the tickets that he would sell. So now for me, I went to this event, and I spared no expense, man. It was a red carpet event, black tie. I'm dressed more than I got dressed for my wedding at this point. I put some money into this. The reason I did it was, I got to be honest, the year before that was kind of shitty, and I felt like throwing myself the greatest birthday that I ever could possibly do. The night before this, I played the Whiskey Go-Go with Demon Scar, and then I was going to cap it off with a lovely evening meeting Sylvester Stallone, who has been one of the idols that I've loved throughout my whole life. I've watched Rocky so many times. It's one of my favorite movies. I was looking so forward to this event, so I went all out. I got the tux. I went to the event. So about a week beforehand, Steven hits me up in an email, and he says to me, we're only picking 4 people. Now, it goes to the highest bidder, so you could have a green room experience with Sylvester Stallone if you win the bid. Now, I'm thinking it's going to be in Beverly Hills. It's going to be big money. Not talking numbers now, but I'm going to tell you that I put a bid in, which was, it was pretty expensive. I just got hit with like a retro check, and I'm like, you know what? YOLO. You only live once. I want to meet Stallone. I want to tell him how much he's meant to me. It would be great, and you also get something signed by him. So I gave him a number. In a couple of days, I'm like, you know what? I didn't get it. I get another email, and he was like, listen, you're about a couple of $100 short. If you make it to this certain amount, you can win, and we'll bring you in for the green room meeting. I'm like, let's do it. Boom. I paid it. Now I'm in. So now, guys, you know me. I've gone to conventions. I see how these things are run. I could just tell off the bat something was wrong. I get to the event. It took me about 45 minutes just to check in. I get my ticket. Then I got to wait online to get my photo op pass. Then I got to wait on another line to get my green room pass. So now there's about 15 people online with me, and I'm starting to hear green room. And I'm like, oh shit, red flag after red flag. I'm like, what the hell is going on? At this point, they already start the dinner, so I've already missed part of the dinner. So it gets to a point now, Steven finally comes out, and he's like saying to everyone, oh, you go into the event. The auction's about to start. And we're like, yo, what's up with the green room? At this point, we are seeing people walking out of another room, and they look happy as shit. And they look like they have memorabilia in their hands. And you know what? It looks like it's signed. And it looks like he's already doing some kind of meet and greet with Sylvester Stallone with other people. So he comes up to us and he's like, who are all you people? And we're all saying green room. He's like, oh, no, that can't be. He takes out a laptop. He's looking at it. He starts rattling off some names. I'm not one of the 5 names that he mentions. So then he walks away with these 5 people and he tells us to sit tight. We wait about another 10 minutes. He comes back and the final flag was drawn. He says to us, look, after the auction, after his Q&A, and after his photo ops is when we're going to bring you in for your meet and greet with him in the green room. I could tell you this right now. There is no way that Sylvester Stallone, who's 70 years old, is going to be staying 4 to 5 hours extra to meet all these people, plus do that after Q&A. It's just impossible. So he's like, come back after the event, after your photo, and we'll meet up right here. So now my attitude's changed. I'm on top of the world, and right now I'm feeling totally fucking homicidal, like I want to fuck someone up really bad. Probably him, and I really wanted to rip his throat out, but I didn't. So I walked into the ballroom, and they're doing an auction. And what they're auctioning is, it's actually the last auction of the night. It's a Rocky III screen-used jacket that says Italian Stallion on it. So in my mind right now, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to win that jacket, and I'm not going to pay for it. I'm going to hold it hostage. And I'm going to tell them I will pay you, or you could take it back, and I could meet Sylvester Stallone like you promised me, and then I'll leave. At that point, I knew I was going to get locked up because I was just out of my mind pissed off. So I'm like, you know what, Nick, just calm down. You'll figure out a way, because you always do. So now Sylvester Stallone comes out, and I'm not even enjoying myself because I'm like a maniac, like the Terminator, scoping the room, looking for this guy, seeing where he is. He's like walking around, dipping in and out of the tables, pulling people. Finally, I see him in a corner with about 4 of the dudes that I saw before. So I'm like, this is the only opportunity that you got. I get up, I walk around, go into the corner, I go right up to him, and I said, Steven, this is what you're going to do. You're going to take me and those 4 guys, and you're going to put us in the front of the photo op line. You're going to let us take our picture. You're going to have Stallone sign our memorabilia, and you're never going to see my face ever again. And without any hesitation, he looks at me and he says, that I could do for you. These guys' eyes are bugged out. They're like, holy shit, dude. Like, what? And I'm like, just shut up and come with me. So we walk to the line. We get in front. Stallone comes out. I get to meet him. There's the picture. It's bittersweet because I'll get to the bittersweet part of this. Now, I tell him that I've been a fan my whole life. Thank you for all the years of entertainment with my family. And I said I probably can count on the times that I've seen my father get emotional. And one of the times was when we were watching Over the Top. I guess you just hit a certain heartstring with him with that. And I still think about my dad anytime I watch Over the Top, because that's just like, the father-son movie. It's got a lot of heart to it. All the Rocky movies do too. I felt like boxing was always the back story of those movies. It was all about the story of the rise of the underdog and all that. But anyway, I was talking about Over the Top. So I was like, thank you for all that. And just to let you know, if you're ever deciding to make Over the Top 2, Ox Hurley, the grandson of Bull, I'm your guy. He starts laughing and he's like, kid, I don't got it anymore. My elbow's a shot. And I'm like, nah, champ, you still got it. We put the dukes up and took the picture. It was great. So I got my picture and I see a line of people. Now I'm guesstimating there's about 300 people on this line. I was wrong. I was off about 450 people. So it was 750 people that were online to take a photo with Sylvester Stallone. Now, with me being at these conventions, I know that with the top shelf photographers, they could bust out about 300 photos in about an hour. So you're talking, if you had Wolf Studios like Monster Mania last week, they could do that. Not some dude in a tracksuit with a fucking digital camera is busting out 300 photos in an hour. There's just no way. So one of the guys that I met was so thankful. He was gifted a bottle of tequila. He was like, dude, I got to give it to you as a gift. I'm going to bring it to your room. I'm like, all right, cool. So he comes back to my room. We're hanging out. About 10, 15 minutes go by. His phone starts blowing up because he still has friends that are downstairs. They start saying Stallone walked. Like, he left. All these people did not get to meet Sylvester Stallone. Friends of mine from the conventions that I've seen through the years did not get to meet Sylvester Stallone. I met a couple from Saudi Arabia that flew there that went to go meet him. This one is going to fucking destroy you, as it's still, I think about this. There was a woman with her elderly mother that has dementia and only remembers the Rocky movies, and she wanted one last great memory to give to her mother to meet Sylvester Stallone. That poor woman never got to meet Sylvester Stallone. I don't even know if that woman's still alive. But that's why I'm saying it's bittersweet. That's why I don't post this picture, because I got to meet my idol, but all these people got fucked. So now this dude just got arrested last week. He faces 27 months behind bars. He's ordered to pay some of his victims 70,000 pounds, which what happened was he got screwed over for he screwed over some it was fraud for donations or something that the feds got involved. I don't even think that they've dug even deep into his story or his backstory. I hope that they do, because to bring it back to that Arnold thing, 60,000 tickets were sold at $350 minimum. You're talking about $20 million that this guy walked with. He probably paid Stallone, Schwarzenegger and Stallone the same, $5 million to appear. So you're talking about $15 million, and that's just bare minimum. And this has been going on for years. He has charges against him or accusations against him since 1997. Unbelievable. I hope that they nail this bastard to the wall. I hope that some of these people get their money back, because that shit's just not right. And I'm so happy that I got to tell that story, because I've been sitting on it for so long. But man, when I saw that message sent to me, and that's, and it's saying that he's facing these charges, I got a little. I was like, justice. I was like, that's cool, man. And like I said, I hope that they get this guy even harder. So I'd like to do a little plugs right now. Bringing back. And then we're going to wrap this up. My friends that run Famous Monsters, they're having their first annual fest headlined by the Osbournes. That is going to be the weekend of Friday, October 13th and Sunday, October 15th. Like I said, the Osbournes, Ozzy Osbourne in the flesh, with Sharon, Kelly, and Jack. They're going to be doing photo ops and signatures. There's an all-star lineup that weekend. They're going to have Kane Hodder, who played Jason in a few of the Friday the 13th movies. The original Damien from the Omen films, Harvey Stevens, is going to be there. Throwing back to my boy Tom Savini, I talked about him before. He's going to be there. He did a great job with special effects throughout the years. Corey Taylor from Slipknot, he's going to be there. He's actually one of the guys that run Famous Monsters now, along with Eben McGar and my one of my great friends, Chris Ott. So check out Chris Ott's page, Monster Heel in London 1888. So this is going on at the Valley Forge Casino Resort in King of Prussia. So make sure you check it out. I'm going to be there. Little Zozo's going to be there with me. I also, actually, right before I wrap up, do you see that picture of Andre the Giant pop figure? It's, all right. I wanted to give a shout out to my boy who made this. My boy Tansky made a special pop figure for me. It's a Andre the Giant in his street gear, like in his suit, like that he wore for WrestleMania. I thought it was a cool gift, and it's a one-of-a-kind thing. And thanks, Tansky. I really do appreciate it. I wanted to give you a shout-out last week, but, I fucked up. So I also would like to give a shout-out to Schmidt's Farm. They're holding auditions coming up Saturday, August 26th at 1 p.m. and Sunday, September 3rd at 1 p.m. I do have a little clip. I don't know if it is available. It's me as the butcher. It's a video. Yeah, here we go. You guys see this. This is me in action.
Meatpacking warehouse accident.
Doing my little butcher thing.
Since sat abandoned for decades. An open invitation to trespassers. In death, the butcher only desires more meat to rip. And with frequent trespassers at the warehouse, there's no shortage of meat for the butcher's hook. Visit Warehouse 31 from September 27th through November 2nd. Just be wary of becoming more meat for the butcher.
Yeah, so that was me as the butcher. I'm going to actually do that character again because I love playing the butcher. I did that for Warehouse 31. That was a commercial I did a little while ago. I have to give a shout out to my sponsor right now, Cloud 8, Delta 8. They're the official sponsor of Primal Scream. Keep it legal and avoid the streets. Due to the simple fact you just don't know what isn't anything these days, Delta 8 THC works well because it results in feelings of euphoria, happiness, and relaxation without the paranoia and anxiety that come with Delta 9 THC. Using this product may also help for medicinal purposes. So for all your info on this product, please go to cloud8delta8.com. All right, guys. Well, I think I got through everything. Yeah, just, wow, that was a lot to unload. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next week, Primal Scream will not be here because the room is going on vacation, but we will be back one more Tuesday at 9 o'clock, and then starting in September, I shift over to Thursdays at 9. I will keep you updated on everything, and if you guys miss me, slide in my DMs. I'll be happy to talk to you anytime. But with that being said, Nizza is out.
Thank you for listening to Primal Scream. I'm Nick Graystone, a.k.a. The Nizza. Each week, Primal Scream is produced by Tony Walker and executive produced by Demon Scar. Always remember, nobody writes your story but you. Later.